Okay, so if we see the minimum number of iterations in these two pre-test and post-test loops, so you can clearly observe from the diagram. In case of the pre-test loop, that means we enter the testing condition, and in case the testing condition or that expression is false, then we exit the loop. Simple case है, आप expression को test करोगे. In case आपका जो testing expression है, in case जो condition है वो false हो जाती है, then you exit the loop. So you are not allowed to enter the body of the loop even once in case the testing condition is false. But if you observe the case of post-test condition, so what happens is post-test condition में since आपकी जो testing condition है, the term is post-test, so जो testing condition है is tested after entering the body of the loop. So that case, what happens is you enter the body of the loop, you perform the set of action once, and then you go on to the testing expression. और जब आप expression को test कर लोगे, in case now the expression turns out to be false, then you exit the loop. And in case it is true, then you enter the body of the loop again. So you can conclude that in case of the post test, the body of the loop must be executed at least once, or I can say that since the designing concept of this loop allows you to test the condition after executing the body, so therefore the body of the loop executes, or at least it is executed once, but it is not in the case of the pre-test loop. Okay, so if we see the pre-test and the post-test loop conditions, so it is very simple, and if you can see the diagram, you have the initialization stage first. So initialization में क्या होता है, you give the value of a variable, you assign the variable value yourself, or you allow the user to enter the value for the variable. Okay, so then you have the testing condition. So in case of the testing condition, जो भी आप यहाँ expression लिखोगे, that expression or the testing condition is being checked, and since it is pre-test, you have to check it before entering the loop body. So after this, you have the set of actions that you perform a number of times, and then you need to update the condition or you need to update the variable. So basically, why do you need to update is because you want the iteration to move. If I say I have a variable x and that x is having the value of 0, and the expression is that I need to check the value of x, that if it reaches 5, I will stop executing the statements. I will stop printing. Let's suppose I want to print a statement, or I want to print some numbers, right? So on the basis of testing condition, I will stop the testing condition, or I will stop executing the set of operations on the basis of testing condition. So my x is having the value 0. It is tested till it reaches the limit, that is x should be less than 10 or 5. But in next iteration, how will the value of x gets updated? It is this updating section that helps you to update the value of x or your any user defined variable, and then you go on and move to the testing condition. So if you can clearly observe, initialization is a single time job. आप एक बार ही variable को initialize करते हो. Testing condition is always performed each time the iteration moves on. एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द टेस्टिंग कंडीशन आप एक्शन में या आप लूप की बॉडी में एंटर कर जाते हो. सिमिलर इज द केस ऑफ पोस्ट कंडीशन. व्हाट इज डिफरेंट हियर इज द टेस्टिंग कंडीशन इज प्लेस्ड after the loop body. So you have the testing condition after the value is updated, and then you test the check, or you check the expression. Okay, so this is the diagram of the pre-test and post-test with a simple example stating that if you have the variable energy, so you create the energy, you initialize the variable energy with some value, and if the energy is okay, that means you are testing the condition in case of pre-test. So if it is okay, then you enter the loop body. That means you perform a push-up, and now since you have performed the set of action, you can reduce the energy variable. So this is a random example where you reduce the energy variable, then you enter the loop again and you test the condition. Now see, you are not initializing the energy variable again, so this is outside and a single time job, right? So if you can see, you enter the energy test condition. Now if it is true, then you enter the loop body again, otherwise you exit in case it is false. Okay, so in case of post test, what happens is, again you have a variable energy. In case you are initializing it yourself or you are initializing the variable value from the user, so you give the value to the variable energy, you enter the loop body. So this is the basic difference between pre-test and post-test. So you enter the loop body, you perform the push-up, you are not checking whether the energy is okay or not. So you are performing the push-up, the energy is being reduced, and then you check the first time the iteration or the expression, that is the energy okay or not. So this is the case of post-test. Okay, so in the next lecture, we'll cover the event control and counter control loop.